So I'm going to teach this live today. I was unable to record yesterday, so we are going to do this live. So you guys are going to have to be a little bit more quiet in the peanut gallery than we usually are. I still want you to participate, though. Miss Stuckle was talking to our remote learners, and I just want to remind all of you, like we do every day. Okay, please listen. Okay, we need to start. Under classwork, I don't think I started sharing my screen with you guys, though. Okay, under classwork, please listen. This is where the slideshow is. And remember, if you have to go remote, that's where you need to get all the information is the slideshow. I know, but we want to make sure nobody gets behind this time. Miss Steckel and I also, I don't know if you guys know this, we did not think it was going to be possible. We did not think it was going to be possible. Hand to heaven. 100% of you guys passed first semester. I'm pretty confident it's the only math class that did that. Every single person passed. Now, some of you know for certain. Yeah, no kidding, I passed. You were all over my mom and you were yelling at me and like emailing me all the time. That's how we roll. Does everybody understand that? Our only job is to get you to pass. So if you're not passing, we are going to get in your business. So what we're actually trying to hope to do this semester is if you're remote, we're going to kind of try to stalk some of your other grades as well, because we want to make sure you pass, if not all of your classes. Some of you maybe just passed 3 classes first semester, which sucks. But make your goal to get at least 4. But I think you can pass them all if you ask for help. Miss Steckel and I will help you with English. We suck at English. But guess what? If you're failing English, you do too. And together, we'll be able to get you at least up to passing. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to ask early. Ask John. He wasn't even doing bad, but he was upset about his, history grade? He was upset about his history grade, so I was like, I'll help you. And he's probably like, never mind, I'll just do it. But I was able to print some things out, which made it less frustrating because he hated looking at the computer. Or I can give you a plan to help. So Ms. Steckel and my goal is to make sure that we stalk your grades a little bit better, because now, because you all passed our class, we want you to pass other classes as well. So actually, I said that yesterday to a kid. They are starting a book in English, but it's on like a PDF. Like me myself, I can't read on the computer like at all. So if you need something like that printed out too. Yeah, we'll print things out for you. I'm going to take away the Edpuzzle, I think, for now, because I think it's stressing some people out. I'm going to put the regular videos here, 5.2 Overview of Transformations for Remote Learners video. Okay, so I'm going to post the video right there for anybody who's absent. We are giving participation grades. So all we're going to do today is we're going to do the notes. Miss Steckel posted a video that has the assignment all done for you already. And if you did not do something from Monday, Caden, you were sleepy on Monday. Jaden was sleepy on Monday. We need to make sure that the quiz and the homework is done. You're okay? Perfect. And a few people wanted to redo their quiz because that quiz was ridiculously hard. Okay? So we can help you, but we said we're also probably going to give, if you got a 70, you're probably going to get 100 on it. 2. 80. Okay. So Friday's assignment. Okay, this is important. Okay, listen again. Friday's assignment. If you get the 3 things done, the 2 homework assignments and the quiz, which we think all of you will be able to get done in person. I don't know about my remote friends. If you get that done, you have no homework on Friday. Okay? If Miss Steckel and I on Friday, our plan is the people who don't have those done, we're going to start reaching out. We'll start with the email, then comes the phone call. okay? And we're going to make sure that we get that done because we want you to start with a solid grade. It's always very nice if you remember, just like we did first semester, start solid. Then when you have the oopsies, just brings you down to a B. You know what I mean? And then you have some wiggle room for when you are sleepy one day or you just aren't feeling it. So those 3 things, and then we're going to start reaching out for people. I do think at 9 a.m. we said 9 a.m. We have a meeting now. We have that 5:04 at 9. Okay, so we'll just open up the Google Meet anyway. Watch it. We'll just go in and out if we need to, the meeting. Miss Eckel and I have a meeting on Friday. We will still open up a Google Meet if somebody's behind at 9 a.m. Anytime you need help, hop into the Google Meet, say, I'm ready to work now, and we will get you through. Promise. Okay? We promise. All right, so let's go through these notes. Right, and if she forgets to turn her microphone off and Mrs. Bruno comes in and starts dropping F-bombs, because Mrs. Bruno has a foul mouth, that might shock you, but I am a very foul mouth person. I know, you don't, does that shock you to know that I cuss a whole bunch? Or it doesn't shock you? I am a very foul person, and I don't slip up at school. Like, I try to keep it nice all the time at school. But like, close the door, no kids. One time, this is a fun fact. Does anybody know Colin Carey? You probably know Garrett and Blake and Gage Carey. The oldest brother, Colin, his family is friends with us, but still is no excuse. He was a sophomore and it was homecoming, and we were working to go work on the float. And Mrs. Chin was in the car with me, and Colin was coming to move some stuff with us. So I told Colin, I go, Mrs. Chin's coming with us. So he was in the car already whenever Miss Chin and I came out later. Do you know what I mean? Like, and we got in the car and I just forgot he was there. Like, I forgot he was there. I'm just dropping F, 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 F. And he goes, holy cow. And I turned around. I'm like, if you tell anybody, I'll kill you. Anyway, long story short, I wrote his letter of recommendation, and he started at Lewis and Clark, but Colin is actually going to SWIC right now, and he's going into electricity. Some of you guys might like to go into a trade. He's going to make buku bucks. Those tradesmen in HVAC and electricity make a lot of money, and he's doing that through SWIC. Okay, so if you want any information on that, Colin will actually help you because he owes me one. Okay, everyone have their notes? Okay, devices away. Devices away. Let's get through the notes. Overview of transformations. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about how figures move. We're going to talk about how figures can move. And we're going to come up with some vocab words. And unfortunately, in math, we like to make the words harder than they need to be. There's going to be what's this loading? Taking so long. There's going to be like an easy English word and then a tough math word for all of these different movements. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to, I got to grab a copy of my notes. Hold on. We're going to talk about this idea of a pre-image and its image. And if you look on your note sheet, those are vocab words. And then we're going to transform figures using notations. Now, this is a 2-day lesson. It could have been a 1-day lesson, but I thought the first lesson that we did yesterday on Monday was so long that I wanted to cut this one down to make sure we were all able to stay caught up. And speaking of that, Monday we do not have school because it's Martin Luther King Day, which means Wednesday we'll finish this up 5-2. But there is a possibility on Friday that we might have to have an online assignment on Friday, and we usually do not. So we might have everybody log in remotely on Friday, or I'll post a video that you can watch it to do it if you can't make the certain time. But we think you might have to do a little something at home on Friday. And maybe if we're smart, Miss Steckel, we can get our ducks in a row and get it posted Wednesday so that you guys could work on it during the week, like before class Wednesday or something. Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to worry about it Friday. We'll try to remember that. Okay, so here are our words. Dilation, image. Does anybody feel like they know any of these words in the class? Any of them look pretty good? Image, what do you think image means? A picture. I like it. Anybody have another thing? Reflection, what do you think that means? It's hard to explain, isn't it? Oh, that's beautiful. Caden's giving me a science definition. Caden's giving me a science definition about the bouncing of light. What did you have, Tristan? Yeah, some of these words are almost hard to give a definition to. Huh? What do you think dilation means? Oh, beautiful. Dilation. Now, I'm shocked that he knew that. Dilation, I thought that there would be a special population of people who would know this. He said it's shrinking, and it also means getting bigger. If you might have learned about it though in health, or does anybody know somebody who's had a baby? What do they talk about? How dilated are you? That's talking about this is TMI probably, but it's the opening of the cervix. Like how big is the opening? I guess Mrs. Bruno needs to not be a health teacher. But anyway, some of these words might look familiar. Oh yeah, pupils dilated. That's it. Pupils dilated. You guys are okay. Now I was thinking about going to the eye doctor, but that's fine. Now look right here. These two words at the bottom, please listen. Transformation and translation, they are similar. Those are similar. They're easily messed up. So we're going to try to make sure we don't get those two messed up. And we're going to go through some of these words today. Okay, first thing, congruent figures. We talked about it Monday. Congruent, exact same. Exact same. Everything's the same. Sides, angles, right? That's different than this idea called similar. And it kind of holds true through English language. What does similar mean to you? Kind of the same, right? Not exactly the same, kind of the same. So congruents are exact. I want you to underline exact in your notes. And similar figures are the same shape, but not the same size, not necessarily. Okay, so on these you can have a big and a small. Now, technically, based on this definition, similar figures also, congruent things are also similar, but we're not going to talk about similar today. This is just an introduction. So congruents are also similar, but that's not the big deal today. And then, do you see this symbol? Do you guys remember that symbol? That symbol is congruent. And this symbol, do you see how it doesn't have an equal sign? It just has the loop-de-la. That just means it's similar. It means it's close. One's big, one's small. Now they still have the matchup. They still have the matching up here. So this is not marked, but if I wanted to mark, and we are going to mark it right now for practice, A is first. What does A have to match with? Look on the other one. D. Do you guys see that they also forgot the triangle? I hate that. A matches with D, so those get the one arc. B matches with E, so they will get 2. And C matches with F. I have 2 pairs of scissors. Mr. Reader's asking for scissors, sorry. But see, they were in the prom room, and they moved the prom room downstairs by Borkowski's room, and it will be really hard for me to find the rest. All right. Yep. C matches with F. So let's give 3 markings to C, guys. And let's give 3 markings to F here. Okay, now for the segments. A, B is first, so I'll give it 1 tick mark. D, E is first, so we'll give it 1 tick mark. And some of you right away don't need to look at the statement anymore. You can just go by based on what it looks like, and that's okay. BC is second, so let's give it 2. EF is second, let's give it 2. And that means the last one gets 3, and the last one gets 3. Now, for the similar figures, can I mark up the sides? Look, this one's long and this one's short. Can I mark up the sides? Is this equal to this? No. So how about the angles though? Is this angle equal to this angle? It actually is. On similar ones, the angles are equal, not the sides. And we'll talk about those at another day. But you don't have to mark that at all because we're not talking about similar today. We might talk about it later when we talk about dilations. But the angles are the same, but not the sides. Oh, that's nice. You guys are so nice. Okay, no, she doesn't. Okay. Now look, guys, we got 3 pictures. There's no markings, but I'm telling you 2 of them are congruent. I'm telling you 2 of them are congruent. So using your eyeballs, you can tell which ones they are, right? Okay, somebody tell me which 2 triangles are congruent just by using their eyeballs. No measurements because I told you they're congruent. He's okay. He's full of beans. He's good. KJL and what did you say? GHI. And he said them randomly, but now we're going to write a statement. And remember, when you make the statement matters because it holds the code. They named the first one. You see, they named it triangle GHI. So now the second one absolutely matters. Okay? What matches with G? What matches with G? G looks like it's matching with J. And I agree with you. G and J. Oh, did I leave it out? Okay, next one. H matches with K. And I matches with L. And I'm not going to write all the markings here because they didn't ask me to. They just want to know what it's congruent to. And once I write the statement, we know what the markings are. I don't really need to go mark the picture. That just takes time away from me. This statement, though, tells me all the markings if I wanted it. Okay? Like I said, I think the statements are cool because they just tell you so much information. Okay, now here's the first word. First vocab word. So go back to the front page. A transformation. A transformation. I don't want you to write is an operation on a figure. That seems kind of fancy. But here's what it does. It changes a figure's location, its orientation, or its shape. So a transformation. A way, this is what I want you to write down. To move or change a figure's location, orientation, and do you guys know what that means? Orientation, like which way it turns. Which way it turns. Yes. Or shape. So all of these are transformations. And think about it. Transformers, like, was that like Bumblebee? Right? What do? They change their shapes. Like they change themselves. I know nothing about Transformers actually. They turn into things. So this is a way to turn your triangle somewhere else. Now, that is the movement. Now, this is what I need you to write down next. Another vocab word. Pre-image. Pre-image is the original figure. So on that front page, it says pre-image. I want you to write down the original figure. The OG. So what do you think the new figure is going to be called? On the vocab list. If this is the pre-image, what do you think the one you move is called? The image. The image is the figure, the transformed figure. It's basically an after image. And actually, I want to write down in parentheses here because eventually we are going to do this. A lot of times it has prime marks. Like Optimus, is Optimus Prime? Has prime marks sometimes. Yeah. That's okay. And basically today is just about the vocab. Because all four, did everyone get what they need to write? Can I erase the red? Okay. All four of these are transformations. So this is the original. We're going to call this the pre-image. And let's call it A, B, C. Now, do these two look different at all? No, but the only difference is it's in a different place. How did I move it from this place to this place? Does anybody know? I did, but how did I move it? Like if I said, hey, what? It's a drag, right? Or a slide. I call it a slide. I actually like click and drag better. But I call this a slide. And a slide is called, and this is on the first page again, translation. A translation, which looks very much like transformation. Translation is slide. The way you might remember is Transformers. There are a lot of Transformers. I don't know. The only one I ever know is Bumblebee. Transformers, there are a lot of them, but translation, there's just one. It's the movement. It's a slide. So where did A go? Does everybody see if this is the original? Where's the new A? It's right by C, right here. So we call this A prime. It's like the new A. A prime is just a tick mark up there, like a apostrophe. So what do you think this guy will be called? B prime. And then this one will be called C prime. And on the first page, everybody should, I think I said the S word maybe. Everybody should have put translation on the first page where the vocab is a slide. You can slide something left, right, up, or down. You can put a drag even if you liked what Tristan said, because I actually like that. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Did I do that like 3 times today? I did it like 3 times a day. Because Tristan Williams came into my room yesterday. Was it yesterday that he came in? And he actually sat in the same seat? It's a T. Sorry, Tayton. What did I call you first semester? No, I messed it up for a long time. I did the same thing. I'm so stupid. Tristan Williams. He's your cousin. I love him. Okay, now this one. Here's another one. This is the original. Okay, so basically, I'm asking you guys not to look at this guy in the middle anymore. Okay? Okay? So pretend, everybody listen, pretend we're done with this. Now we're going from this to this. How did I go from the pre-image to this shape? Ooh, beautiful. He said the right word. He said reflected. That's the fancy math word. Do you know what the stupid English word is? Flip. It flipped. Yeah. And you guys were talking about how hard it is to describe reflection. It's easy to see it. It's harder to describe it, right? The mirror image, reflection. So look, be careful. I'm going to get a new color here. What is this blue dot? What does it match up with? Is this A? No, this is the new C. So we would call that C prime. And what would I call this one? B prime. And then this one would be A prime. Well, then put this up on your notes, dude. Okay, here we go. Everyone done looking at that one? Okay, how about this one? We went from here to here. From here to here. It is a rotation. Rotation. What is the stupid English word for rotation? Spin or turn. I call it a turn. Rotate, spin, turn. Somebody said it's circle. Whatever. Interesting words for it. Yeah, they're doing great. Okay. So, where is the new A? The new A is the easiest to find, right? Right. This one's the new A. These two will be trickier. You think the B is over here? Let's see. I have to think. It's kind of hard to tell. Can I tell you why it's hard to tell? It's hard to tell because there's no tick marks and you cannot tell if these are equal or not. If you turned it that way, right? No, you're wrong. Yeah, it has to be B. It has to be to the right-hand side of A. You're right. Now, the only there it is. Here, who said it? Of course he said it. He said, what if you mirrored it and then you turned it? That's a double translation, which we're not going to do yet. That's the only way it could be the other way. Correct. What's happening there is some people might be looking at this. No, it's because I didn't show you one at a time. If I could get rid of these and you just looked from here to here, I think you would have got it if this was right next to it. But because those other ones are in the middle, you did just exactly what Caleb said. If you mirror it first and then turn it, then it is C, right? But that's a double translation. We're just doing one at a time. So then this one will be C prime. Okay, did you go to the first page and did you write down by reflection? Did you write flip? First page, reflection is flip and rotation is turn. Yes, we need you to write the math words. Okay, now the last one is different than the rest. Why is the last one so different? Right. I would like you to write underneath all four of these guys were all congruent. This one is not congruent. This one is what we call similar. It is dilated. So this is a dilation, which is a shrink or a stretch. And it's different because it's not congruent. Was this B up here? Yeah. So the new A would be right here, A prime. The new B would be B prime, and the new C would be C prime. Yep, go back to the vocab page. Shrink or stretch, dilation, and you might want to write not congruent by it even. It's the only one that's not congruent. And if you want me to give you a really fancy math word that's not in this section at all, but I learned about it in college, these guys are called isometries. Yeah, that's because they preserve congruence. They keep things congruent, but this one is not an isometry because it's no longer congruent. Okay. The rest of the notes will be very fast because we actually already talked about all the other things. Right, here it goes. Look, guys, this is the first one. Now they put it on a grid for us. Translation. What was translation? That was the slide. Slide. So be careful about transformation is closed. This one's the slide. And what we're going to practice doing on, I guess, next Wednesday when I see you, is we're going to say, how did it slide? Okay, so how did this point slide to this point? It went to the right 4 and up 2. Does everybody see that? Right 4 up 2. You might have to describe it. But that's what we're going to work on more next week, is describing these things. Be careful with transformation and translation. Okay, now how about reflection? How do you reflect over something? What was the word we used? Flip. You need to know, though, listen, what does it flip over? Yeah, you'll have to figure out what line it actually flips over. And the way you're going to be able to tell is because it has to be an equal flip from each side. Does everybody see that? I remember working on this with you too, Gabe, way back in 8th grade. Every point on the graph is moved over a line. So you have to have what we call a reflection line. And we'll have to find it. Okay? Almost done. Let's look. We got to figure out which one did it flip over. Use the graph to complete the statement. The triangle at the top of the graph is a reflection of the triangle at the bottom. Okay? Over what line did it flip? How did it get from here to here? It flipped over what? It's one of B, C, or D. It has to be C. If you were going to fold this paper so that you could see it on both sides, like it would line up. Does everybody agree that C is the place to fold? Okay, so that's line C. And the way you can tell is you can go from the new to the old. Look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And make sure you cut it in half. Has to be halfway to each one. Okay, rotations are trickier. Rotations rotate around a point. And you have to say clockwise or counterclockwise. This one went clockwise. Do you guys see it? And do you know what point they actually put the pivot on? Is they put it right here at 0, 0. So do you see how it went over 2, up 1? When they rotated it, it went up 2, over 1. And those are the trickiest in my opinion. But we'll talk more about those in a few days. Okay, and the one that's different than the rest, we talked about it. How is it different than the rest? Because it's not congruent. Did I even give you this one? It's a shrink or an enlargement, but it is different because it's not congruent. Remember, this one's not congruent. This one is similar. Okay, and the very last thing to do is to match up your vocab. Which words go with which? What does reflection go with? That's the flip. Dilation. Yep. Reduction or enlargement. The translation. I think that's one that kids have a hard time remembering. And rotation is turn. Okay. All right. That's it for today's notes. We're going to be looking at homework now.